Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday morning, July 29th. We're looking at the last 3 days and half of Thursday's market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And rest assured, I would think by Friday's close, we're not going to be trading in this range that we've been in for the last 3.5 days. Yesterday we said, right, we went out with a price probe last night. Now there's still over an hour to go prior to the opening. As of now, the price probe is being rejected. If you watched last night's video, I said there's two scenarios we should see this morning. One is the probe gets rejected and we trade all of M period's range. Or the probe's accepted, we take out yesterday's low, and then we see, do the sellers have enough to take out last week's low prior to the Fed speaking? Well, right now, again, there's still an hour to go, so many things can happen, but it's the former, as we see we're trading all of M period's range as of right now. And in fact, we're at our pre-market high right now. Remember, very important, above M's range, there's nothing to our POC, which was 10 wide. That POC, even though L and more importantly M flushed out and made a new low, could not be lowered. It could not be lowered yesterday. It's K's low. So if we do take out M's range and gets accepted above it, well, guess what? Odds are you're going to trade to that POC. That's why M, the next day, is so much more important than the day of, because it's just so unpredictable when it does its own thing in the last time frame. As far as destinations, let's go over them quickly. Right now, 10 wide, right? Well, first, right now, my pre-market high is... Oh, I apologize. My pre-market high is 323.86. I was thinking it was 322. It's 323.86. So it's still above, actually, yesterday's high. So that occurred last night. This morning's high is 322.32. So we're trading at this morning's pre-market high, but the overnight high from 8 o'clock last night is 323.86. Right now, the price probe 321.31 being rejected. Then we have 10 wide at 322.95. Yesterday's high 323.64. Those single prints which I told you about, and the weekly high and the gap. Downside right now, the pre-market low is 320.98, which is just above yesterday's low of 320.85, daily low 320.78, and then all the other ones I have given you. Now, I can give you a game plan for this morning. I think it's going to be quiet, although I have said, and I have seen this in the past, trend days develop prior to the Fed's decision, but they never hold. Right now, though, it looks like we're in balance in value. So again, possibly we get rotational until the Fed's decision, right? If we trade up to M's range and get rejected, well, then there's a chance you're going to trade to the bottom of it, and then you could take a put play. But if you get accepted above M's range, I'm out, because you're certainly going to trade to POC. So, and that's about a 53-cent difference. So any acceptance above M, you could take a call play up to POC. Rejection at M's high, you can take a put play down to M's low. Those are two very early plays. And also remember, in balance, in value, the worst of your risk reward. So again, in CamelbackTrading.org's room, we're giving you these plays as the market's about to open, as it evolves throughout the entire trading day. Now, more importantly than a game plan for early this morning is a game plan for later in the day. There is no reason to have a position or to trade at 2 p.m., but more importantly, once the press conference starts, right? 2 p.m. is the announcement. Basically, we all know that there's going to be no changes in the rates, and they're going to do everything to accommodate to support the economy, or more likely the stock market, in the future. So we all know that. It's at 2:30 or whenever the press conference starts that any little word that he says that could be construed as something out of the ordinary that will move this market. So there's no reason, again, to be trading during that. When he's done and the market finds its direction, you can trade, right? Especially if we have a small range prior to that. I've seen days where we've taken out the high and low of the day in the first time frame after they speak. So it's like throwing a dart. It's a 50-50 chance. Be smart. Be patient. You trade every day, all day. No big deal if you don't trade for an hour or an hour and a half until the market settles. And then chart-wise, and the reason I'm showing you the charts because I think the main thing is just some real key levels we have to concentrate on for today and towards the end of, more importantly, by Friday's close, like I said. So right now we close below last year's settlement. Right now, pre-market, we're above it by 50 cents. So we've been battling last year's settlement a bunch of days lately, right? That's important. More important even is last month's high of 323.41, right? Any acceptance and closure above it, then you can get to that huge gap again, take out last week's high, and possibly start going for the all-time high. But you can't do that until we finally get accepted above last month's high, and we've been going back and forth through that. On the flip side, if you can't get acceptance above that, if we fail at last year's settlement, well then eventually we are going to take out last week's low, and then we're going to start moving down in the weekly, because as you can see, if we take out last week's low, right? Look at on that first destination to the downside. It's 312, then 310.68. There's not much there to stop us from getting to those two destinations. The one major thing that has held up nicely was the price probe at 317.67 from July 14th. But if you get any kind of selling, eventually that's just going to fall, and we're going to go down to those weekly lows. I still do believe we're going to get a fairly significant move by the end of Friday's close between the Fed today, all the earnings tomorrow night, GDP. So don't get lulled to sleep by the quiet action we've had these last 2-3 days. Prepare for it. Have your reference points, destination, so when the tempo and volatility picks up, you're ready to trade it rather than get frozen in front of the screen. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.